Anybody that's watching. Had a bit of trouble last time. Just come up saying connection to servers lost. So that was why the stream just suddenly died. So hopefully, I was originally going to be streaming for an hour, but with them messing about, I did do a little bit more after that stream, so I don't want to miss anything out at the start. In case you want to see what the puzzles are like, I think that save game I just loaded is just as you get to that barrier, so I was not much. There wasn't much further than that anyway, so. Mind you, I could just be talking to myself here, but. Oh, get my hands the right way around. So, now to do this bit. Right. Right. Try the phone. No. And the pamphlet. I can't if I got the pamphlet. Have I got the wire cutters? No. As well as turning user buttons, you can also it also moves the way your head's pointing, so you have got a bit of extra movement there. We'll quickly get back to firelighters. Well, that's it then. I must have had the cutters already. Equipment. Under consumable. No. Oh, inventory. Pillock. Yep. So. To use something, you just have to highlight it and hold the trigger down.
Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business. William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here.
Well, Beans, I know we're going to have a car
The
crash.
local populace was divided when it
make
came to the affluent
it a
man.
good.
Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another.
Here we go.
So far, only the industrialist's house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
And there's the crash. time between loading sections seems to be quite long. That's probably just the impatience of the modern gamer.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
So, check out the car first. Yeah, I remember you having to wait half an hour for games on
The
cassettes
driver
to
had
load.
taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance.
Now, if it takes more than 10
Carl needed
seconds, I'm
help.
getting impatient. So we've got a picture, iron box, which you've got to find the key for. Come on. Ah, there we go.
This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
Now I know you can't walk further down there, it won't let you. But there's a little place off there where I was struggling to find wood. Looking everywhere for wood. Well, it's covered in snow. Right. So,
Even better than he had
chains,
hoped.
lamp,
Carl Faubert had succeeded once more and was now on his
firelights,
way to new
matches.
adventures.
Well, so let's get some heat going. So I've got everything I need. Hold the trigger. There we go. They said he had to look after his wounds, so use the first aid kit. Right, we've got the inventory. Chains, fire start, empty bottle, pincers. There was nothing up there. Lay chains. There we go. And you can deposit items. So put some wood in there. If I could go and get some more, couldn't I? Nah, it'll be alright. So, there's a general store I got to meet him at, I think. The weather's getting bad. Oh, what's that?
Spread out on a few acres of
Bien
untouched
vu,
forest, bellowing
Manistad.
caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
Oh, I'm not pressing the trigger, but he likes to speed up downhill. Oh, there's a road goes off there. So we've got a map. Where the hell am I? Oh, there I am. Just a little road that bends round. There's a gas station further up. And if that's where I'm supposed to be going, so. So there's a road down there. Another little lodge or something. Check them out later.
The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
Oh, there we go.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store. A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
That's fresh milk. Don't feel bloody fresh to me.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
And we also need people.
Carl
Nope.
had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
Take out camera. Equipment.
What could be inside that envelope? Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
How do I take pictures then? Right. I've got my camera, yeah. Take out camera, yeah. Right, another go. Gonna put film on the camera. Right. No, they still turn, mate. Maybe you gotta get close enough to. Pressing the trigger and that a lot seems to be happening. No, I just have a walk around. Mysterious unbranded cans.
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
Well, at least it weren't my car. Generator. Oh. Those dogs or wolves? I can't go in there. Still don't know how to take a bloody photograph. He would.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
That doesn't seem to be anything. Ah,
Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
fixed generator. I need type. Ah, I just saw torch. Hey, sorted. Take out camera. Yeah, I've done that, but you won't let me take a bloody picture. So looking for firelights as we handy. Roll of wire. General store also says a post office for the locals.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Ah, the secretary wouldn't be luxury in here. Cash register instructions. To open the cash register, punch the price, 2 numbers minimum, press sale, turn the crank 2 times, punch a machine if it doesn't work. So presumably I'm going to open the cash register. Ooh. Can I get that? First aid kit sorted.
Carl
You know
knew
what,
that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
Don't know how you scroll down.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
Ah.
According to
Custom
that
finish.
log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Ah, type. No, nothing there. Let's try opening the cash register. Might need to get the electric on first.
Carl was no electrician,
I
but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
need something else, don't I? Right, tools. Got to be one here, surely. Oh, pardon, mate. It's all this cold weather. Can't go that way. Take out camera. I can't do bugger all with it now. Might have to have a look online, see, find out how to use the camera. See if we can get into that other building out there. Ah, I bet this is where the cleanest spot in the area. When I find those tools here that I need. One times hardware. Pliers, I bet that's what it is. That's what I needed. Anything else? Right. So, is there anything else I can interact with? Right, let's get the electric back on. Oh no, no. This way I'm not. So I think I've got, yeah, both highlighted now. Still getting the hang of these bloody controls. More pamphlets. Right. So, electricity from generator. Oh no. There we go.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Right. Ah, the pumps. I knew there was some reason why coming there. Right, well, I've filled the car up.
Carl knew straight away where to find the infuriated Gilles Lachance. Any good investigation would have to start there.
I need that documents. Gilles Lachance. Oh, there we go. Ah, that's how you do it. Click your trigger here. Remember? I don't know where to find him. Well, unfortunately, I've got to go now. That damn just in the time. A bit shorter than expected because I had the problem with the server dropping down when I first started. My first thoughts on the game, yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. Graphics aren't brilliant. They're good, but they are blurry. I mean, it's not so bad out here with the snow, because that all adds to it, but not as sharp as you'd like, but you know, I'm sure they did the best. Looks like it's going to be a lot of exploring, a lot of little puzzles. We've got to find a key for that. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Looks like it's going to be a very interesting game. It's supposed to be about 6 hours long. So for 16 quid, I think it's a bargain, to be fair. From what I've seen so far, unless it turns out to be lots of crap. Anybody that's watching, thank you so much. Feel free to leave a comment and say what you thought or whether you're thinking of getting it. And if you want to subscribe, great lock. Oh, I've got I could have just broke the lock instead of walking round. Yeah, if you want to subscribe, don't let me stop you. I think I'm up to 3 now, so I'm getting pretty stellar. Take care everybody, hope you're having a great time, hope you enjoy the game, and I'll see you soon.